Hey friends, today we're going to talk about why the idea of networking or meeting new people in network marketing can feel really, really icky. And I got this idea to record this for you because I was reading an article, the Wall Street Journal. I was looking at my news feed or my news app more than honestly I should. And an article popped up. This is why networking feels icky. And it was the Wall Street Journal. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was just talking to a client about this the other day. And I figured if the Wall Street Journal feels the need to talk about it right now, it's probably something that we need to talk about as well. So why does networking, why does meeting new people, why does that feel icky? And I think this is an important question when this has always been something that we as humans have done naturally. Networking is the way of being human, right? For all of existence, we have banded together in communities. We have connected with people. We have asked questions and basically exchanged value in some way, shape, or form. And the more people we know and that we're connected with, right, the more opportunities there are for value exchanges. And it's not that networking is only something that's done as part of a business process. It's really the way of being human. We've always shared stories and shared resources or exchanged things like that. But really a lot of it, it's because we're used to being out and about. And so networking, right, is just something we always did naturally. And then COVID hit. And COVID has disrupted the human experience. And if you feel like your human experience and your way of being is all jacked up, I assure you, you are not alone. And that's actually something that's happened. COVID has disrupted the human experience. And now it's almost like we've forgotten how to be human. Now, when people start their network marketing business, especially if it was prior to COVID, they knew all these people from the past 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, right? Their whole life. When they start a network marketing business, they're like, hey, I have this resource that I think is going to be really, really helpful. They basically activate their network. So I work with those people for a little while. And then, of course, right, like a need to build more network comes up because then we spend so much time actually inside of the business. And then all of the network that people build is actually inside of their business as opposed to outside of their business, which requires people to become more intentional about networking. And this is when it gets in our head, because now it's like, well, I have to meet new people if I want to keep selling stuff. And so therefore, kind of what I'm doing is not authentic. I'm not authentically meeting them. I am only meeting them because I want them to buy something. And it's even more pronounced right now because I think a lot of us, and maybe this isn't you, and if it's not you, you're probably not watching a video on why networking feels icky. But for me, I just kind of want to stay in my close circle where it's safe. I'm not entirely motivated the way I used to be or intrigued the way I used to be. And so it requires more effort. And the only reason I put in this effort is because it's part of my business. And so then it gets really messed up in our head. And so what I want to pose to you is first a simple thought reframing model that I think could be helpful for you to fix that way of thinking a little bit. And then just some practical tips to get started so that networking doesn't feel so icky anymore, because it is really part of being human. And so one of the thought reframing processes that we will walk clients through when, so here's what happens. So we have this thought: I am only meeting people because I need to sell something. And then that creates this feeling of, I feel icky. Well, what action do we take when we feel icky? We will avoidance, right? Withdrawal. I mean, if I am super, super sweaty after playing hockey, I'm not really like I'm going to, like, I feel icky, so I withdraw, as opposed to start giving everyone hugs and being like, hey, it's nice to meet you, right? Or you might apologize right off the get-go. I'm sorry, I'm so sweaty, right? So we avoid when we feel icky. And what that means is that the result that we get is now I put more pressure on the contacts that I have, which then reinforces that thought of I'm only meeting people to sell. We end up in this spiral, which is not helpful. And so what I want to pose to you is a different thought, or you can pick one that you feel is true if this one doesn't feel right. But a new thought is, I enjoy meeting people with similar interests, whether I'm working or not. And part of being good at network marketing, there is this like job requirement of enjoy talking to people. And I know that right now, people are very people-y. And so it might be harder to like stake that claim. I think that I like working with people. I do think it's probably true if you've chosen network marketing. So I enjoy meeting people with similar interests, whether I'm working or not. And for me, when I hear that, it feels way more empowering, which means the action would be, maybe I could explore a little bit more, explore the online world. And the result, if you just went out and explored as if you weren't working, you probably end up with so many acquaintances and a much larger network with which you guys can exchange value. And some of them will want to be pointed to resources that your business helps. And that's how that works. From a practical perspective, I think it's helpful to think about, if I wasn't working, what would I be doing? And it's also got to be like, if I wasn't caring for family members, what would I be doing? And maybe that's harder to think about. Maybe that's not a place you've really entertained for a long time, but that doesn't mean that it won't help you to be more human and live a better life. We want our businesses to improve the overall quality of our life, not take away from it. And so asking the question, what would I be doing if I wasn't working, right? Or if I wasn't caring for someone, that's an interest. And we can pursue, think about, okay, well, I would love to meet, I already know I love to meet people with similar interests. So this seems like a step I can take. Join groups, follow hashtags if it's an Instagram thing that are associated with those people. When you are doing this kind of meeting new people, I want you to separate meeting new people from inviting to a sales, learn about your products and learn about your business, which is also a separate step than converting into a sale. Those are three separate things. So I want you to separate them so you're not smushing them all together in, okay, I need to go meet someone and invite them and sell to them all in the same interaction or string. They're actually just very, very separate. Just like back before you had a network marketing business, you would just meet someone, you just connect with them. And then later, when a resource was to be shared, you shared it with them. I want to remind you that social media platforms are designed to connect you with people. And to start, I want to encourage you to start having fun again. If meeting people isn't fun, then you might be doing it wrong. So let's return to being human. Let's return to being social. Let's put the social back in social media. It's not called anxiety media. It's called social media. And let's make the most of what we can in these circumstances. And I know that many of you are into, changing other people's lives, but I just want to remind you that as you step out and you are more social and you are exchanging value and kind of breaking some of these habits or these thought patterns of networking being icky, kind of like sales being icky, most important life you change, just might be your own. So I hope that was helpful for you. Have a great day. If you need any help with this, let me know. We're here to help.